again today. And right now, I want to talk about the No Kings protests. The No Kings protests, which is scheduled to take place on October 18, 2025. So the No Kings protest 2, we got some information about it, and I'm going to read this information that I got about the No Kings protest, which will include some of the reasons why it's taking place, so forth and so fifth. All right, so we begin by so the No Kings movement is organized nationwide anti-Trump protests for October 18, 2025, which they're referring to as No Kings 2. Organizers expect millions of people to participate um, in thousands of events planned across the country. The demonstrations are a response to what the movement described as authoritarian actions by the Trump administration and are as a follow up to a similar large scale protest held in June 2025. So, some core issues, and stated goals. According to organizers, the October 18 protests are intended to be a large scale nonviolent rejection of what they characterize as the Trump administration chaos, corruption, and cruelty. The specific issues deriving the demonstrations include authoritarianism. So the movement named the No Kings is a direct uh, repudiation of what organizers see as President Trump's dictatorial style behavior and rhetoric. Organizers argue that its policies and rhetoric resembles those of a king rather than a democratically elected leader. Okay, next point here is the government shutdowns. The movement has gained new urgency due to a government shutdown that began on October 1. Organizers cite the shutdown as an authoritarian power grab that threatens federal workers and vital services, right? Next issue, immigration crackdown. The protests are fueled by the administration mass deportation efforts, um, particularly raids conducted by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the use of militia-like agents in cities across the United States. All right, moving on. Next point, the militarization of cities. So the militarization of cities, concerns have been raised over the deployment of the National Guard troops to American cities. American cities, a tactic organizers say is intended to intimidate and suppress dissents. The next point is billionaire first policies. The movement accuses the administration of prioritizing the interests of the wealthy allies while cutting essential services like healthcare and hurting working families. Next point, threats to elections. Organizers cites threat to overtake elections and gerrymandering, as we could see that happened in Texas recently, gerrymandering efforts as justification for the protests. So let's get into some event details. So decentralized coordination. The No King movement is a grassroots effort coordinated by a network of organizers, including let's see. Okay, so we had a pause right there, including the ACLU and Indivisible. The events are intentionally decentralized, which local groups, organizations, specific protests in their own communities, widespread participation. So organizers expect demonstrations in the thousands of locations from major cities to smaller, more rural towns. A map of events is available on the movement's website, nokings.org. That's NOKINGS.org. right? So the note some notable supporters, the protests have received support from public figures, including actor Robert De Niro, who recorded a message for the Indivisible Project, encouraging people to join. All right, moving on. Emphasis on nonviolence. So the movement stresses a commitment to nonviolent action. Organizers provide resources and training on de escalation tactics and safety, especially in the light of past incidents of violence and increased political tensions. Context and comparison to June 14 protests. So the October 18 protests serve as follow up to the large scale No Kings protests held on June 14, 2025, triggered protests. So the June protests were scheduled to coincide with President Trump's 79th birthday and a military parade in Washington, D.C. Organizers intentionally held events everywhere except the nation's capital to contrast the grassroots. Okay, moving on. So, to contrast the grassroots people focused movement with what they call Trump's wasteful and un American birthday parade, escalation since June. Organizers and commentators note that the political situation has become more dire since the June protests, citing the recent government shutdown, continued ICE raids, and deployment of troops to cities as evidence of escalating authoritarianism, authoritarian actions. Okay, and we have a lot of sources are providing these informations, right? So I just wanted to put it out there so some people could get a more detailed information and understanding of what the No Kings protest is about. That's taking place on Saturday. I think it's Saturday, October 18th, 2025, nationwide. Okay, so that's some information about the No Kings protests, right? And like I said, if you're an American and you live in America, or if you even have business interests in the United States of America, these are things that you may want to consider and take seriously. Okay, if not for yourself, do it for your kids and grandkids. And also, if you haven't been ready yet or prepared, get yourself ready because the midterm elections are coming up pretty soon. Remember to vote. Now, remember to give this video a like. Share the video, right? Because some people are trying to figure out what the No Kings protest is about. And there you were just provided all the information, well, most of it, general oversight of what it's about, right? So share the video with those who may find interest in it, okay? And you can catch me in the next video. It's Big Muscle. I'll stay on the hustle. Catch me in the next video. Stay safe. Peace.